Bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone!
Board meeting!
Welcome to Everyone Racers,
a show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of Lemmy Champ or Lucky Track Dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we don't discriminate.
as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussion,
Tips, tricks,
As well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
whether it's on the spot.
hella sweet,
Or we're lucky enough, and
Chrissy,
I give you just the tip.
we're sure you'll giggle a little.
and learn even less.
Everyone report to the paddock.
This is Chris,
This is Chrissy.
I'm Tim.
And I'm mental.
and we are Everyone Racers. Welcome to an Oldsmobile V8, episode 371. Now, the 371 made its debut in 1957 as standard equipment on all Olds models and was produced through 1960. The 59 and 60 371s used green painted valve covers. 4-barrel models used a 9.25 to 1 compression in the 57 and 10 to 1 58 for 277 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque, or 305 and 410 respectively. 1958 2-barrel version produced 265 horse, 390 foot-pounds, but had problems with early camshaft failures due to the high preload valve spring forces. Following the Automotive Manufacturer Association ban on factory-supported racing, power ratings went down for 59 and 60 88 models, 270 and 240 horsepower. And it was no longer available after 61. Short-lived. This engine was also used in GMC heavy trucks as the, quote, 370 of 232 gross horsepower and 355 gross foot-pounds from 57 59 with some modifications for the heavy-duty use. So probably an engine no one has heard about ever before.
No
I'm impressed with those torque numbers, though, especially in the 60s. Holy crap.
400 foot-pounds. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
It's gross, though, so it's like 300, really, but still healthy. Come on. But when you have a 2-speed automatic, you're pushing it all through. That's not as...
Yeah, through a slush box. 400 turns into 197.
Yeah. Oh, well. Well, if you're not working on your obscure 50s Oldsmobile, what are you working on? How about mental? Why don't you start us off?
Last week, I talked about taking my Miata to the dealer for the warranty recall on the electric vehicle vacuum pump. This is in no means to cast shade on Findlay Mazda. They're actually a really good dealer. I got a video the next day of everything that they inspected and looked at. My wheels were off the thing and they recommend you do this, recommend you do that. But while they were prepping all this, they left the car turned on so that the battery died, so that I lost the code on the device that needs to be replaced. So they said, as soon as it pops up again, bring it back. Care to guess what happened on my way to work today? Yeah.
Oh,
So
no.
it will be going back there in the morning, but, and again, not throwing shade, but I just want to throw this out there because this is a very above board dealer. And they're like, oh, you got this many miles, recommend you replace your brake fluid. No, thank you. Because I put that dot 5.5 in it that I had left over from quite some time ago. And no, it was expensive. And then they did point out that my rotors really shouldn't be turned and I need a new set of rotors and pads all the way around. Would anyone on this screen or listening at home care to guess how much a set of 4 rotors and 4 sets of brake pads on a Mazda Indy Miata without the Brembos cost at the dealership installed?
With labor?
Yes.
$1,350.
Going 18.
I was gonna say 16. I was gonna fall right in the middle of that.
Okay. Apparently y'all have a lot more experience with dealerships than I do. You all busted by the Price is Right rules, but it was $1,200, which just floored me. But I was able to use that as negotiation with the head of the House Ways and Budget Committee of well, if I just get this Flying Miata brake upgrade, I'm saving $200. So that's in the mail. It's coming to me, and I'll be doing that probably over the holidays.
The Indy that works on my mom's car said, oh, yeah, you're going to need new rear pads in the CX-5. That's going to be $780. And I said, no, thank you. And I looked up Mazda OEM pads, $50. Mazda OEM rotors, $60 each. It's like, what, an hour? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
And again, it's a lovely dealership. They're very upfront, above board. I've got no qualms with anything else that they did. I know I paid too much for an oil change, but while I was there, what the hell? But yeah, so there was that. Took Chrissy's suggestion. You guys all know this because it's in our little group text we have on there, and finally became enough of a pain in the ass to Walmart to where they refunded my money.
Oh, good.
And
That's good.
yeah, and canceled the order. And I
That's good.
drove the rally car right up to the local Hispanic shop. Now, installed, it was going to be $360 for the cheapest knockoff tires I could find. Care to guess what the boys down the street could do it for? Yeah, 260.
I was gonna say 250. I
$1.
was so close.
And
$1.
Yeah, hilariously, 260 and 3 Gatorades. Hilariously enough, they are light truck tires, so they're semi off-road tires. So the stuff
what you need for the weight.
Yes, that Jeff Stobbs is ready for us to take off road.
How
We'll be
loud
ready for
are
it.
they?
Huh?
How
Not as loud as the stereo.
Okay. Good.
Epic. And after spending a great deal of time wasting tax dollars studying Formula V's, reading that huge thread Chris told me about months ago, the book and everything, I have now started to delve into the good Formula V that's in the garage. Step one is wiring, which they had running kind of like through the frame. Makes me all kinds of nervous, but I've got a whole wiring diagram. We'll start all that. And then just today, I had my second round of MRIs. One of the things I do love about this show is our audience is very empathetic, and everyone that has had an MRI was telling me they empathize with my experiences on it. Today was not much better, but I did get some clarity out of it. So we've got a direction, nothing major. What you got, Tim?
I have a quick story that's pretty ridiculous about MRIs that I'm going to share.
Don't wear metal jewelry.
If it's about the butt plug, I already saw that Reddit.
It is. So somebody went into an MRI with a butt plug and didn't understand what the M part of MRI stands for. So that MRI turned into surgery to have the butt plug removed from an area next to their lungs.
Yeah.
So, no jewelry.
Took the hard way through.
Including toys when you go for MRIs.
Because you got to fill out the form, do you have any implants, piercings, no. And you answer the same question about 4 times. And then the lady's literally sitting there like, do you have any metal, I'm like, no, I don't. And she's like, sorry to keep bothering you. No, I get it. I saw the picture of the wheelchair that got sucked into the MRI machine.
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
don't be that.
Yeah. Just don't. So anyway, so went through that. Still just, man, challenges all of my calming techniques to be in one of those things.
Tiny tube. It sounds like a jackhammer. Yay.
Bang.
Seriously.
Bang.
Well, jackhammer, like, oh, that's what that sounds like it's operating normally. MRI. So that doesn't sound right. Why is it doing that noise? Yeah. So yeah, that's me. You guys all had great weeks. What, Chris? You even typed it in the notes that way. Awesome.
I was just porting cylinder heads. I'm doing a quick, as quick as you can, really, but not like the super detailed porting I used to do in the old Honda heads. Just like a quick and easy one to clean up the casting on this Mazda head, because it's like 36 grit sandpaper in the ports. It's like, come on. And plus this is the cylinder head from the motor that rapidly unplanned disassembled itself in New Jersey. So the piston hit the head on one. So I had to kind of clean up some areas there. Anyway, so I was porting the head. Let's take several layers, and I sent a picture to Chrissy for what you're working on. And we'll talk more about that later, about what it looked like. And I had no idea until she comes out and laughs at me.
I can't stop laughing. And I'm like, oh my God, did you put googly eyes on this cylinder head? And he's like, what?
The
It
picture.
was like, no, like googly eyes. Like we don't even have googly eyes sitting around a whole lot. Like it's not like we just have them and stick them on things, which would be funny if we did. I was like, where did you even get googly eyes? And he still doesn't get it. And I was like, go back and look at it. And then it looked like googly eyes. So I tried to be I didn't say that it looked like googly eyes. And then Mental went on this whole thing about how much it could look like googly eyes. I was like, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
And we're not the only ones. We'll get the listener feedback.
oh
So
yeah, no.
I felt so much more normal after a bunch of other people.
Oh, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Oh,
And
not
that's
at all.
exactly what the post says. It says something like, if you actually, because this is what I do is I put a whole bunch of things in the hashtag. So Mental likes a lot of hashtags. I just write sentences in hashtags that says, you can't unsee it. The eyes are watching you or something like that. I have made a whole bunch of things about eyes. Googly eyes. Yes. So hilarious on the internets.
If anyone knows the technology of how to take that and make like the bottom of the cylinder talk like a mouth and then just play what Chris and Chrissy just talked about with the two cylinder heads, the two ports talking to each other, I will give you two get out of jail free cards at any race site that I'm judging at. Please do that.
Not what you meant to do, but hilarious.
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 In other good news of fixing things, in the Cadillac, the seat cushion heated seat has never worked in the time we have owned that truck for several years now. So I finally ordered up the new part from GM. And while I was in there, I said, oh, a new seat cushion is only $72 for the foam part. I was like, well, it's already going to be out and it has 116,000 miles on it. So that's getting replaced. So I took the seat out and disassembled it on the living room floor and replaced the seat cushion foam and the heat and ventilation pad because they all are together in this. And now I have operational heated seats,
Yay.
which is great.
Was that a GM specific website, or did you get that from Rock Auto?
No, I got it from GM Parts Direct.
Okay.
So it's a GM dealer that has good online prices.
Yeah. I got to do the same thing to the Mercedes. I was hoping there was like an aftermarket cheap
There
option.
are, but that you'd be surprised. Like they're usually not that expensive. I've done this for mostly I've done it all for GM trucks, but
We
anyway.
put them in the Mazda too.
Yeah, I put some aftermarket ones in the Mazda. They didn't last forever though. So I think you're probably,
good,
yeah, they were, but I think you'd be better off going for, if you can
OEM.
just get an OEM replacement one that just plugs in,
But I
do so if you can.
Easy.
No splicing. Last thing you want is your failed splice to catch your wife's seat on fire.
Yeah.
Scale of good to bad. I feel like that's a lot of nights on the couch.
Yeah.
Dumb ways
you're-
to die.
Yeah, or you're just going to
Exactly.
hear about it a lot. So there's that.
You never ever stop hearing about it. In fact, remember that time you tried to light my car on fire? Yeah, and my butt.
With me in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Thanks. Yeah, great.
Never.
Oh well.
Oh,
Anyway,
well.
Chrissy, you were here too. What were you doing?
I did not do any car work. I was laughing at googly eyes. I was doing cleaning up from Thanksgiving. We still I had not really cleaned the kitchen, did a deep clean, packing for an excursion that we're going on. And then today I hit a deer. with the Mercedes.
Oh.
Yup.
Which car?
Mercedes, which is great. It fared really well. It was just the grill is really what hit. It was deer number 3. It was in a place where there's known to be deer. I see them all the time. I have stopped for them, but this was one of those places where there's like a big pine tree. There's no scanning involved. I couldn't even see that they were coming, came right out. I saw 1, I saw 2, I'm stopping. And number 3, I hit it. I hit him square on. He obviously didn't do so well, and then somebody on the other side of the road hit him much worse than I did. So he is no longer. So I busted the grill, the sensors in the front. There is a crack.
Didn't Chris just fix those?
A while ago.
Okay.
Airbag?
But no airbag.
No airbag.
Oh, good.
I did a real quick damage assessment in the driveway when Chrissy got home about literally 20 minutes ago. And it's grill, all the motion sensors in the front for the radar cruise control and all that junk. The support bar behind all that stuff that holds it up. Another one just barely touched the AC condenser, put a dent in that. One of the headlight mounting tabs on the driver's side is cracked, and that is a $3,500 headlight. The bumper's a little flexed, but structurally it's fine. The hood is fine.
Well, more importantly, Chrissy's fine.
Chrissy's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm totally fine. I was headed to a work dinner and I was like, gonna be late, hit a deer. And then I had coworkers that were behind me and they're like, oh, that was you. Yep, that was me, because people were going to this dinner and saw me on the side of the road.
How many of them were like, pick it up, bring it to the dinner, we'll put it on the grill?
Well, before it got hit again, I didn't even have time to call anybody else to take it because it was in the middle of the road. It's fairly dark. There are no streetlights on this road. So as it was getting twilight-ish. So by the time I could have even called somebody, it got hit again. So there was no picking that guy up. So, yeah. Thank goodness for insurance. And I took a lot of pictures of, here is my car, here is the deer in the background. You can see it, and it's all in the same picture. Yeah, I'm totally fine. I was shaken because I don't like hitting things.
Nobody does.
I'm a little.
No.
I know. I wish I could have stopped sooner, but I was already driving. And
I would argue that a lesser car and a lesser driver, that would have gone off much worse.
Well, if I was in the Porsche, I might have just scooped him up and just thrown him over the top of my car. So
or gone through the windshield, which
more.
I've seen
I was
happen.
to say the more likely response is scooped him up and put him through the windshield. I lost someone in high school that way. They F body, and the way it rolled over, it was still kicking, and as it went through the windshield, so.
No, this one was kind of it's because I think the nose of the Mercedes is so up and down. It seemed like it just pushed him forward. So he didn't he didn't even come towards me. He went the other way. So yeah. So that's the death portion of my what you working on, because now we have some car work to do.
The death portion.
Well,
on the upside, when you drive the Cadillac, now the seat heater will work.
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna figure out what I'm going to drive tomorrow. It's still drivable, but there's still.
Are we gonna guess that insurance quote?
I feel like we are.
Once we get the full list, sure.
Okay.
But you're gonna. I used to do this for work. So.
I feel like this is like going on Ben Stein's money against Ben Stein. I'm not going against Chris on against that insurance quote.
You can try, and then you might lose.
Yeah, definitely.
Tim, let's talk about happier things. What are you working on?
Well, I put a video out there. I went over to Jeff Gates' Driven Garage a couple of times this week, getting a little work on the McLovin. We're doing an Ecotech swap on that. We've got the motor and the trans placed in. We are putting a Willwood brake system in it. We are going to retrofit Camaro uprights and put in disc brakes on all four corners, because we are more than doubling the horsepower with just a stock 2.4 liter Ecotech motor of what was in that thing. So it was fun. We mocked up where the pedals are going to go. It's drive-by-wire, so the throttle pedal is easy, but getting the whole bracket and everything for the clutch and the brake pedal was a little bit of a challenge because of where the steering column comes out, but we were able to cut a bunch of stuff out and make that work. Jeff drew up real quick on his CAD machine a bracket for the firewall side where we can then mount it through like 1/8-inch plate. So we'll have the 3 master cylinders on the engine side. We'll probably build a little bit of a heat shield around those, but the pedal placement, it looks awesome. So we spent probably 3 or 4 hours really trying to get through that, seat in, seat out, trying to make sure the placement's good, height was good, and I think we got it dialed in pretty well. So everyone, even with Jeff size 14 feet in there, that's still going to work out good. So we're happy with that. A little bit more drama with my Corvette. It is running really poorly. AFR gauge is at 20.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh.
20. So I've got a tuner. He's going to build me a base tune based on all of the new internals that I have in the motor, which should allow me to do a proper break-in, get the rings seated, and then I'll drive it around a little bit and then do a proper tune on it afterwards. So it's good. No noise, no leaks. Just got to get that part figured out. He said to check. I'm getting a throttle position sensor error. Two of them actually, both A and B. One high voltage, one low voltage. The plugs look good. I'm gonna just check grounds in a few spots and see if maybe there's a ground issue. But digging through that a little bit. So that's going to go in the back seat until we can get the tuner dialed in. So I've been doing a little bit of pre-research on the Solstice. In May at the last race, I had a big power loss on that and trying to figure out what it is. It never threw code. Boost went down. It's a 2-liter turbo motor, direct injection. So I don't know if it's fuel. But it's got the magic spinning cams, VTEC Yo. So doing a little bit of research on failure points for that and what to look for. So I'm going to dive into that when I get back from Road Atlanta and start to see if we can diagnose that a little bit. I'm hoping it's not the high pressure fuel pump that pumps that thing up to, at the fuel rail, I think it's like 1100 PSI. Those go for $500 on Rock Auto. So if that's the case, I'll just buy another car and sell off the parts because you can get a car for $2,000. So there's that. So hopefully it's something easy and dumb, and we'll get that dialed in. But just packing up, getting ready for Road Atlanta. Got stencils done, so I've got a good bribe stencil. It's
pretty impressive. I'm legitimately, you've always made art. This one's you've upped the game on this.
It's a 2-step stencil. So I had to do a little research with Eric Rude and Judge Phil, where he's done a few 2-step stencils. So I got a little bit of feedback from those guys. So that'll be good. And then we've got a good lame sticker for all of you with shitty themes. So
don't come with a shitty theme. Just don't.
Yeah, just don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Just don't. I will put a stencil on your car if your theme is lame and you come back with a poorly done theme. I will put another stencil and it will continually get closer to your windshield until you actually do it properly.
Wow.
So
hello, Podcat.
Hey, hang on a second. Yeah, Chris, just gonna need you to say anything at all.
Anything at all? No,
Meow.
didn't work. I just looked up what the
kitty cat love.
Yeah, Kitty's helping me. I just looked up the price of the left headlight for the Mercedes with the LED option. It's $4,000 for the headlight.
Oh.
Maybe you should just buy a new car too.
No.
Hey, comprehensive. Only has $100 deductible for a deer. So I'm gonna get a new headlight.
So no limits, Mercedes wagon. No, all right, fair
Car
enough.
is way too nice.
No, you're funny. No,
they didn't hit the deer that hard.
It did not.
I was just looking forward to the seat massager in the race car. That would have just
No.
been, yellow flag. I'll be salute. It's a invigorating massage. There we go. That's quite nice. All right.
No need. Oh,
Yeah, so that's it.
That's
Good
a
stuff.
lot.
It's a lot. It was busy.
It's a lot. Okay, it's news and nothing.
Chris Teague at The Truth About Cars has some good news in this dystopian landscape of car news. Beloved 80s icon and manufacturer of seriously great seats Recaro has been saved. The aftermarket and often OEM seat maker has had some issues lately. Filed for bankruptcy, and the future was looking grim for the German equipment maker. Luckily, Italian parts supplier Proma Group is buying the company and, even better, will retain the company's German employees. Proma Group CEO Luca Pino said, "Our investment in Recaro Automotive will strengthen our ability to deliver a premium seating product while embracing the most cutting-edge innovations in the automotive sector.
You
The
mean Bobbity
Recaro
Boopity?
name Bobbity
Wow.
Boopity. The Recaro name is renowned throughout the
You
world
can
as a
quit at any
benchmark of
time.
a German industrial technology, and Promo Group, a symbol of Italian manufacturing excellence, is excited about the future and the quality that will be expressed in the automotive market thanks to the union of the two first-class companies, Bobbity Boopity." As Teague
Ooh.
points out,
Wow, that was a lot.
Proma,
Wow.
as
Duolingo.
Teague
Wow.
points out, Proma knows this industry and will
Speaking
hopefully keep the same
Spanish on
level of
Duolingo.
quality people have come to expect from Recaro rather than just cutting cost and driving the name into the ground.
Thanks, Duolingo. Thanks for watching.
Good job,
F1.
Mateo.
Yep. All right. I'm pretty sure that nobody that listens to the show is enough of a mouth breather to have truck nuts non-ironically, especially on their truck. Now, there is a new kind of truck nuts that's actually funny. Caleb Jacobs of the Drive tells us how the automotive world's tackiest accessory might have reached its final form. Yes, we've all seen the douche nozzles with low self-esteem hang some plastic icicles from their truck, followed by people with slightly better taste hanging actual large hex nuts from some chain. Well, now people with electric trucks are getting in on their version of the joke by hanging large wire nuts from their trailer hitch. So to summarize for you, people are 3D printing some big ass wire nuts like you'd use for home AC wiring, a light fixture or switch, and then hanging them from the back of their truck. Really, this is a nice version of ball busting from people with electric trucks to those of people who are likely coal rolling idiots. So we're all for it.
They
I
are amazing. I love like the big giant wires. These are football-sized wire nuts, people. They are enormous.
Yes. If you're watching this on YouTube,
Wow.
I remember getting this, and it is, yeah, that's just, if I saw somebody that has like the regular truck nuts, I'm like, I don't want to talk to that person. But if I see this, I'm like, all right,
Let's
that's
be
someone I could be
friends.
friends
They
with.
have a sense of humor.
Yes,
Yep.
they
Yeah.
do.
I
Oh,
can't
I
wait
like
to
it.
see somebody in a Tesla driving around with those things on there. That's going to be the cyber truck going
A
down like that.
Cybertruck. Yeah, why not?
Why
The only
not?
the only accessory that'll make that truck look better.
That or
Uh,
less like a dumpster.
fair. Well, we all know that Nissan sucks, especially me, because I broke one over and over and over for many years. But apparently, so does their luxury brand Infiniti. Over at Autoblog, Ellijah Nicholson-Messmer tells us that US sales have plummeted over 50% the past 5 years. This year, Infiniti sold a scant 42,567 vehicles, roughly half of the 87,934 that it sold during 2019. Not being able to squeeze unsuspecting folks into an Altima with multicolored body panels at 19% APR means that those dealers are hurting. The Automotive News reports that the average Infiniti dealership sells just 24 vehicles per month. So their current proposal is to allow Infiniti dealerships to co-locate with Nissan stores. This approach aims to keep struggling higher-end Infinitis in the fold while minimizing costs in competitive markets, which is exactly where Infiniti can't afford to lose their representation. Now, while they may share a physical address, the deal requires them to maintain distinct identities. For example, separate entrances, showrooms, and lounges for its customer, as well as unique sales and service teams. However, behind the scenes operations like administrative support can be shared between the brands, which we are certain will no way impact the premium dealer experience. No news on whether Infiniti branded Space Saver spares will be available for their mid-range sedans a la Altima.
In future
24
news,
cars.
Infinity is no more.
Yeah. 24 cars a month. How many people do you need to schedule on the sales force per day?
2.
One.
1.
The manager can cover during his lunch break. Other than that, you're good.
Well, so there's your thing. As you know, at Infiniti dealership, you get the whole dealership to yourself. Can you come in on
Yeah.
Tuesday?
Right?
Steve will show you around. Yeah.
Mhm.
You'll have a nice personalized experience or something. All right.
Mhm.
Did our discussion on the Olds 371 pique your interest? Want one yourself? Where can you find such an obscure thing? Of course, it's racing junk. We found this 1957 Oldsmobile 88 on consignment. The ad is limited in text saying a 1957 Olds 88 four-door 371 V8 automatic transmission non-running project. So there isn't much there, but at least there's 14 pictures for you to see a excuse me, maybe rat.
A rat free.
Let's
Not
hope it's
likely.
rat-
Not
let's-
likely.
Let's hope it's a
Yeah.
rat free. It's also rot free, honest, four-door surviving, looking for some love. Almost $6
Cool
grand.
car.
Just under $6 grand.
Very cool. It has
Lots
more
of
pictures
pictures.
than working parts.
That picture there of the seat, I'm pretty sure it's not rat free.
Mm-mm.
There's definitely hunt the virus walking around in that one.
Rot free.
It is rot free. They actually had pictures of the four doors.
No
These are good looking
rat-free.
cars, man.
It's really cool looking car.
Yeah. And he did not skimp on the pictures, which is just awesome.
So way to go.
Absolutely way to go.
It's
Who
a
needs words
tiger!
when you
Oh.
sorry. Sorry. I completely screwed that up. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's upcoming races time.
Again. Well, we have coming up the Kim Harmon Scrotium 500. More on that soon. That has 119 cars, 26 BMWs, 6 Miatas,
Boring.
yeah, 12 Hondas,
Wow. Yay.
no Porsches,
No.
Womp, 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 womp.
a Borgward Isabella, yes please, an F-250 with wire nuts, and 2 Lincoln Town Cars. Eric
It's
says
a good race when there's more Borg awards than Porsches.
Well, the esteemed Everything Bagel, Eric Rude, said, whatever Dirty Duck is bringing will be crazy, no doubt. This race also will have the North Star Mafia Cadillac, a one-barrel fed 280ZX, an S10 with a Firebird front clip, a Shelby Charger, an F-250, a VW-powered Plymouth Horizon, and the return of the Gene Cole Jown car, to say nothing of the 318 Dart with the smallest two-barrel I have ever seen, and much, much more.
One of those BMWs is our buddies from Breaking Bad Racing. They're bringing their cheaty V8 swapped BMW now with an actual oil dipstick.
There are 26 either new cars or new teams coming to this race, which is amazing.
You're going to be busy, Tim.
Yes.
And rain? Mm-hmm.
And no, it's worse. Scattered rain.
Oh.
Hero pavement. Yeah. Everyone thinks they're fast until they're not.
Womp, 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 womp.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as my first one, but okay. Well, I'll take it.
Oh, well. Just a few hours away, Lucky Dog is going to be at Barber. They have 54 cars, 11 BMWs, 12 Miatas, 5 Hondas, 3 Porsches. That's where they all went. And a 1980 Rover. Yay. Good job, guys.
Good on you, boys.
Whoever brought the SD1 is doing it right.
Hey.
Well done.
Okay,
Right.
let's do our feedback time.
So after I spent that time porting the cylinder head for the Mazda and Chrissy posts a picture, we got lots of reactions.
So I did actually immediately put on there that if you're just glancing at your phone, it looked like googly eyes. And it's not just that it looks like googly eyes. So if you're with us via audio only, come with me to a world of imagination, because the one cylinder appears to be looking straight down, and the one right next to it appears to be looking to the right of it. So it's cylinder number one looking to the right, go, hey, what you doing over there? And cylinder number two, nothing, just leave me alone. Looks like you're getting ported. So what if I am? It's fine, neighbor. Just got ported myself. Word is the whole neighborhood's got to get it. So don't be embarrassed. And number two, thanks. That makes me feel better. And I wasn't alone in my little fantasy world where ported cylinder heads with googly eyes talk to each other, because Carl Applegate also said, I definitely thought he put googly eyes on the valves.
Yep.
It is an amazing picture. You've got to go on the socials and look at it. It's spectacular. Well, Corey Dickman did a dyno do-over day for his GMW, and his tuner was 40 minutes late again. By the way, he wanted to shoot somebody. That's inside trader information right there.
Did it get done though?
It did get done. It did get done.
Good.
And he didn't brick the ECU this time, so good on him.
Good.
Bruce Leote said, I am preparing the TQ for some indoor battle. Hasn't been on the track since March 2022. That's because you've been broken since then, so don't hurt yourself anymore.
Stop riding dirt bikes.
Yeah.
And if you are anywhere near Atlantic City, oh man, you want to go see the Gambler. That's awesome.
January.
January 31st, February 1st, that weekend, OG Three Pedal Mafia get together there.
We'll be there.
Many shenanigans will be had.
So many shenanigans.
Yep. Sasha said he just did a mild head port on his Prius. It made zero difference, but I also no longer have an annoyingly slow head gasket leak, so that's a win. Steaming and heating RTV joints for 3 days straight was fun. I want summer back.
He lives in California now. He doesn't have to worry about that. It's fine.
Owen said, why do the two chambers look like they're planning something? And Gregory said, headed out to blow the dust off, but can't seem to remember why I put my New Balance shoes. Oh, well.
He included a picture of his C2 Corvette. So that's the New Balance joke.
Got it.
Our good buddy Michael K was showed a picture of his solar array, quote, hoping to power the trailer or winter workshop and the day-to-day needs in the garage with the power of the sun. Really, it's a test bed for a system I want to put in the garage mahal, and it's finally going through the variance permitting process. It's a legit impressive setup that he's got there, but that's just everything that he does.
Kyle Hansen said, I'm cutting more holes in the floor, this time for my drive shaft safety loop. Good plan. Tyler Smith said, still a bridge? Always a bridge. Maybe one day I'll get to see my race car again.
And I sat there and stared at that photo, trying to figure out what bridge it was before I realized he was talking about a ship.
Oh, yeah? I didn't look that closely. I definitely saw the picture, but didn't.
Yeah.
Different Tyler S. said on YouTube, RE Knipex, those pliers Chrissy was talking about. I recently brought one of their large snap ring pliers for doing wheel bearings. The local Harbor Freight has been out of stock for the Icon equivalent for months, but the Knipex ones are on Amazon for only a bit more. Unfortunately, it seems the Mazda snap rings have 3mm holes, while the pliers have 1/8 inch prongs or something like that. So they required a bit of modification. Not fun on hardened steel snap rings.
Pro tip regarding wiring label makers. The regular Dynamo Label Manager 160, while not advertised as compatible with the heat shrink tape, is in fact 100% compatible with the Dynamo heat shrink tape and about half the cost of the one we recommended. So thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, I like pro
Yeah.
tips. They're fun.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you.
Hey.
So that's good.
You know who else loves to save?
Yeah.
It's Chrissy's mom. She loves a bargain.
Yeah.
She needed a label maker. She'd be all over that, but she
That's
doesn't.
where I get it from.
Yes.
Yep.
And it would be a delicious and savory label maker at that.
Sure.
Label all of her cookie bins.
She does actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Custom ones.
Yep.
Every time.
Every time.
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Hello, Chrissy's mom.
Okay, it's big topic.
Try again, a little quieter.
It's big topic time.
Thank you.
What is the main topic, Chrissy?
Now you're too quiet.
What's the main topic?
I think he just wants you to read that.
I don't want to read it.
It's the Blumpkin Spice Scrotium 500, ladies and gentlemen.
Literally, only Eric, Rude, Tim, me, and Corey get the Blumpkin Spice. But oh, Joe was there for Blumpkin Spice too. Yeah.
Your balls smell terrific.
Oh, well,
Right.
you
So
already
who do
know
we have-
that. Yeah, Tim's
Yeah,
going.
who we
Who
have
else is
judging?
going?
Tim, tell us what's going on there, sir.
We've got a good crew. The Lemon Supreme Court with Chief Justice Judge Craig from Terminally Confused, Judge Brian with he's great. Love Brian. Worked with him at Pit Race a couple times. He is coming in from Zero Budget from the Ohio region. We've got myself coming in for a Sorry for Party on the West Coast, Cali represent, and Judge Rob from Escape Velocity in Louisiana. So we've got a lot of the country covered with this crew. Yeah. So it'll be super cool. And as always, the amazing and always amenable Aaron Cole for our media, Colorado, another state all over the place. We might have a couple of guest judges wandering around looking to dispense justice. So we are looking forward to that for sure. We have an interesting weather.
Yeah. Yes. Walk us through
Going
that
on.
weather. You should be able to share if you want. There you go. Oh,
So
that's even better.
We have a low pressure system coming in, and it's going to impart rain on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There'll be scattered showers about this area here, and we'll be pushing down all of the people. The aggro people coming down from the Northeast will be traveling down into the poor weather. It is going to be about 50 high of 50 degrees and about a low of 33, I believe, which is not great.
Awesome.
Not great. So if you are camping at the track, dress warm and please be careful out on the racetrack as it's going to be slick. So see you in the penalty.
Yep. Everyone knows how good Falcon and Zenuses are in the ice. So
yeah. Studded tires for Saturday morning.
Great. Okay. Well, some more about the track. We are, of course, at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. This is a 2.54 mile, 12 turn natural terrain road course built in 1970, and it really does flow over the hills of Georgia. Built on 750 acres in those rolling hills, 90 minutes from Atlanta. For this year's Kim Harbin Scrotium 500, looks like Lemons is going to be using the outside paddock. There's plenty of room. None of it's covered except a little like lean-to where HQ is going to be, and that's about it. So enjoy that. There's also like no power, really. Very limited power anywhere around there. Nope. Sorry. Too bad. Let's see what else. Overnight camping. There is one camping fee paid, and your team's online registration covers overnight dry camping for all team members. There are a handful of electrical hookups, first come, first serve. You're probably too late already. Fuel is sold on site, but there are gas stations within 6 miles in either direction that are guaranteed to be cheaper. There's also the full complement of fast food, groceries, auto parts, all the like within 10 minutes. So you are pretty well supported.
Now, when he says dry camping, he doesn't mean you're not going to get rained on. That is not what he means.
You're definitely going to get rained on. It's so many memories of people living in like pop-up tent, tarp, shanty towns, just being cold and sad. And then we'd get in the RV and say, oh, man, how those people
sucks to be those people.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Road Atlanta does not allow stand-up scooters, and paddock vehicles must be lit at night. There is on-site security at Road Atlanta, and they're not known for their sense of humor. Noted. They're nice. Just follow the rules. And also, there's a super fun place, Patty's Irish Pub. If you can, their Reuben is highly recommended. So check it out.
Now, scheduling.
Yes, scheduling. Sorry. Thursday, 12 December. The gates are going to open from 2 to 10. That is tentative based on employee availability. From 6 p.m. until 8 a.m. And this is going to apply the entire weekend. There are no race motors. Road Atlanta, being built back in the day, has been surrounded by high-end houses who apparently don't understand that living next to a racetrack doesn't mean you move there and you get to complain about the noise, but they're trying to be good neighbors. So the security has to come yell at you. So no Italian tune-ups at 11:30 at night.
How else am I going to fix my engine except for so many revs? I have to rev it a lot.
Exactly. Nope, you're screwed, buddy. So Friday at 7 a.m., those gates are going to open. And at 8 a.m., headquarters and the test day registration are going to be open as well. So from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. with a lunch break for an hour at noon to 1, test day, which is being run by the 24 Hours of Lemons. So it is limited only to 24 Hours of Lemons race car, and you are going to have your driver's wristband to get on there. During that time from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. is also BS and tech. You have your specific tech times. For Pete's sakes, check your email. Every one of us is a judge. The people to show up like, oh, hey, is this your tech time? Tech time? What do you mean? They've been doing this for like 4 years. Just stop it. So know your tech time, be on there. They'll also be doing the gear tech and the gates close. It is starting at 11 a.m. because as Tim mentioned, there are 26 new builds. So they're going to be picking through these cars a little bit. All right. At 10 p.m., those gates close. Do not try to coyote somebody who's not on your race team in. That's how people get in trouble and have to wear skirts and wander through the paddock soliciting donations. And again, from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m., no race motors.
On Saturday, the 14th, gates will open at 7 a.m., 8 a.m. There is a mandatory drivers meeting at 8:30. Grid up, get your most sober person into the race car, strapped in, and ready to go. 9 o'clock, the race will go green. Race session 1 will end at 5 p.m. The gates will close at 7 p.m. Once again, from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. Enjoy your time relaxing in the paddock because there's no race motors. On Sunday, gates will open again at 7 a.m. Race session 2 will be from 8:30 to 10. Although from 10 to noon, it is Jesus hour.
Yeah.
Jesus does not tolerate light race motors.
Welcome to Georgia. Go get yourself a Reuben. Noon to 5, we will continue racing. I guess this is race session 3 at this point, and we will do awards at 5:30. At 8 p.m., there will be a snowstorm, once in a million year snowstorm that will roll in for the 7th year in a row if it doesn't happen on Saturday before that. So get there, get to your tech on time. As Mental said, that area apparently is congested. We will be pulling cars off to the side that are new, that are going to need a couple of sets of extra eyes on them. So when you're going through and waiting to be in line, bring umbrellas because we can't fit that many people under that little enclosed area. So
right? You're gonna need
prepare
to
yourself.
Bollards to like quarantine off places for you and places for.
All right. So trying to type up the turn by turn here. Sorry if you guys can't hear me doing this because we just weren't that prepared on that one.
Oh, that's fine. I figured we were going to wing it. Once we
Go
have
for it.
We can
wing it.
I'm not going to wing it. I've never been there. So it's all on you, buddy.
I guess I got to pull up a map then.
Yeah.
Look it up.
The only time
Yes.
I was there, I was really sick, so I don't really know.
Well, you're going out of the pits onto it pulls you right into turn 1 basically is when you come out of the pits. So we're not going to talk about that as much, but turn 1 is an uphill off camber turn, and if it's raining, which it is going to be a river flowing across turn 1.
Yep.
And you're going to have to cross the dry line twice and it's going to be interesting. Turn two is up at the top of the hill. It is a slight left, um, as you're really just coming out. It's just a setup between one and three, is all it is. Turn three is an ongoing battle between Miatas and the track. It's a
So
good right turn.
yes, and what happens is people they start cutting the corner, and then it digs a hole, and then Road Atlanta comes through there, and they build a bigger gator, and then Miatas start cutting the track more. If you center over that gator or you try to get your wheels onto that gator, it is going to upset your car. And certain cars in the dry that can give you more traction, but in the wet, just stop because they are very rough gators. And if you put that gator through the center of your car, you are going to damage something, and it is going to be something you are going to need for the rest of that racetrack, like an oil pan or a suspension piece. So sure, you've seen like all those IMSA videos where they're bouncing it off the entrance into turn three. You're not that person. Just stay off of it. Tim is a great guy, and if you want to talk to him that bad, talk to him after the race. Because if you start grabbing that curbing, you're going to be talking to him early.
Yeah, don't be dragging all your leaky ass race car through my paddock because you ripped the oil pan off.
Yep. All right. Turn four turn three is a hard right. And it catches a lot of people unawares and they end up going off there too. That if they get through turn three, then sometimes they're usually not well set up for turn four, which is going down the hill into the S's. And really just pick your eyes up and look down the hill, and you can kind of just follow your way through. But really, if you early apex four, you're going to be pushing too wide on the outside, and that wall that's closer than you think. Really, there.
Yes,
So then you go
we
through the
all
S's.
know we all know a very skilled, very calm, very rarely visits the penalty box driver who hit that wall hard a few years ago, and ended up
Took him a long time to fix his broken hand after that.
it did. And and this isn't a hothead. This isn't someone that comes off there. It was just car got away, and then the wall was closer than everyone thought it was.
Yeah,
Mhm.
way more than anyone thought. All right, so you go down the S's. It's fun. Bottom of the hill is turn five. It is left, and you go up the hill. So you've got a lot of traction at that bottom of that hill. You can use the curbing. It's gonna put you to the outside though, so watch out. Stay out of the gravel, because it's easy to get caught up in there. I've definitely that's one of the few times I remember spinning the Civic is coming into turn five just too hot,
Yeah,
and it just wasn't going to make it and lifted, and it just came right around. And that gravel there is deep, and the walls are close, so not a good time to do that. Five is at the crest of the hill. So then after five, you get a nice long straight to six. Six is just a 90-degree right, basically. It's easy. Seven
actually,
is
even I'd say even slightly less than 90.
agreed, and it's
But
slightly uphill.
yeah, mhm.
Six.
Yes,
Seven is more than 90 degrees, but it's I recall it being a little off camber. At least it
it
feels like
is.
it's off camber, and
You
everyone
you
bunches up
crest
there.
it. You don't people crest it. They don't turn enough. They're light on the suspension. They end up going wide, and the grass out there has been well. The red Georgia clay has been flattened by decades of this. It's not particularly dangerous in the sense of you're going to go flying into the wall because they did move that wall far enough back. But if you're the second car coming through there and someone's already gone off, they're going to be trying to re-enter the track, or they've lost it, or they're trying to stay out of there. So just be careful as you're doing that one.
And that leads you on to the super long straight, which
Yes.
lasts forever. And it's partially uphill. It kind of goes, it has these two like corners in quotes. They're not really corners, they're slight arcs of the straightaway. But you come out of a pretty slow corner seven, and it's just a drag race, and it can get like four wide down that straight sometimes. And the speed differential can be startling here.
That.
So
Isn't there a little pinch in on the left side? Isn't
yeah,
it
as you
that
get toward the end of the
it
straight, yeah.
yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of undulates a little bit. So you kind of pinch in. If you're running four wide, somebody may run out of
Yeah.
Yeah,
space.
And
you can't run four wide the whole time. There are a couple
No.
spots you can,
Right.
but you're going to have some fast cars probably doing 130, and then you're going to have an F-250 going 85, right?
And
Um,
but what Chrissy's saying, right up at the time you pass onto that pedestrian bridge, you should have that four wide sorted out. And
yeah.
if you're in a slower car, just get to the right, set up, check way back in your mirrors if you're going to try and pass somebody on that straightaway. There's a lot going on, but you've got good sight lines in most directions. If you're in a faster car, simmer down. Just roll to the outside, calm down a little bit. You've still got all the time in the world. Let some slower car get one or two around there, and then you can motor past all that. If I'm not mistaken, this was where the spinning Crown Vic took out Randy Popes than the Subaru last year, and it was just because it was raining, and one of those mini rivers Chris was talking about was going across there, and these cars are hitting them at full bore. So yeah.
And the other thing is, if it is wet, you are not going to be able to see anything in the spray.
No. Do not
Anything at all.
overdrive your vision. Don't.
No.
Just don't. It's not worth it.
If you do not have tail lights that operate, not brake lights, but tail lights or a rain light, you should go fix that, because it is necessary for the amount of spray and the speed coming down that straight. You cannot see cars that are there. So strongly recommend having some rain lights in the back. All right, so you get to the end of the straight, and there's a steep downhill right at the end of the straight. This is great for getting that last little bit of speed before you have to brake really hard for 10A and B. And some people are better at it than others. And there's a big gravel trap there for the people that are bad at that, which you're definitely going to see at least one person go into that gravel trap. So 10A is a basically a 90-degree left. And it's a simple turn, but you're just coming into it so fast. You just got to pick your braking point right coming in there, and then figure out who in front of you is going to not brake in time or brake way too early. Figure that out. 10B is a right-hand turn, and it's a standard start on the outside, cut the apex, go back to the outside, or pick your lane because it's lemons. Whatever car is not blocking the apex, you just go there, do that. As you then crest under the bridge for 11, this is a very exciting time. If you've never been to this track, you are probably going to be too far to the left. Mm-hmm. And if you are too far to the left, you are then going to go into the pits. Which, hey, that's how you get to the pits, everybody. It's down that way.
This has happened, I think, to most of us. I feel like we were like, oh, no, the car's
suddenly I'm in the pits.
Oh, I'm coming into the pits now. Okay, great.
Yeah. And you could watch all the videos you want. You could do all of this, and good on you for doing that sort of thing. But if you've never driven under the bridge in turn 11 at Road Atlanta, you're not ready. You're just not ready. It is an 8-story drop.
Yeah, 11-12 setup is so much.
It's and blind.
And blind.
You have to trust, and there's lights, or there's colored squares at the top, which are very helpful.
Yep.
Are they? I never found them to be
colored blocks.
They're too close together.
Yeah.
They're too close together though. So just like go further right than you think you need to until you can see the other side, and then figure out where you're going to go.
Trust that the road is going to be there every time you go there.
Which they don't move it. Not during the race. They leave it there.
No, but there's some times when you might go.
Yep.
Is it over there? Okay.
And this is key. Once you've crested that, don't start yanking on the wheel like, oh God, I've instructed there and had to reach over and grab the wheel a couple times. Like, no, we are not going to make that radical of a correction with our foot in the floor as we're cresting this hill and rolling down it. So it's just one of those things, and just build up to it. You don't have to set the record on the way out there. And honestly, once you get it, once you've kind of gotten down 11 into 12, that's probably one of the most race car driver feelings I've ever had. Is like, psst, I just went sailing down Road Atlanta to turn 11. That's like legendary.
And as you're coming down the hill, though, you can't help but staring at the wall that's right next to 12.
I'm so good at that. Oh, I'm so good at that.
And you are hauling the mail down that hill. And at the bottom, that turn, 12, you've got suspension compression from being in the bottom of a hill, but it doesn't matter. It still is a pucker inducer. That wall is right there.
And
You put
respect
two
it.
wheels off, you're done. You're gone. You're
Yeah.
in the wall. That's it.
And respect that outside wall. But if you get there and you get a chance, you're not going to be able to do a track walk. Usually the security doesn't let it, but you can walk around the infield of the track and get almost the same thing except without touching the wall. So as you're looking at that, notice there are not very many tire marks on that outside wall of 12. They're all on the inside wall because someone stared at that wall, freaked out, yanked on the wheel, and spun it into the inside wall. And if you watch the race this weekend, that's going to be where a lot of those incidents end up. So pay attention to the flag station because you're going under it right as you're coming down that hill. So look into that one. But yeah, it's as Chris and Chrissy just said, it's real easy. Like, wow, that is a lot of concrete very close to me, and I am going damn near terminal velocity of this car that I am sailing down 12. Something else to consider: turn 12. If you have not ordered new front wheel bearings for your car, order them now because it will eat. I have seen it eat brand new wheel bearings in the course of one race day. Just you got all of the load is on that front driver's side wheel. And it is so Saturday night or even Friday night, if you've gone out there and done the test day, get your car up on all jack stands, do all your bearing checks, and then spin the wheels and listen for any hint of a grinding noise. Because you do not want those locking up on you at really any point on this track.
Yeah. And then you're on the straight.
You're in straight. I was going to say, we kind of left the straight out there.
Well, this is the small straight at the pits.
Yeah.
There's not much to it.
No.
It's a straight. And then you're
there's
back to turn one.
That wall that they're talking about. It ends about most of the way down the track. You can use that as a good reference for your brake and your downshift as you throw it into turn one. There's a flag station right there on the corner of turn one. It's uphill. You're going to get all the suspension compression. It's really a good turn built into it. Keep an eye out for cars entering onto the track. But as Tim mentioned, when it rains, all bets are off. And you will see multiple cars just go right off turn one. I think I saw 3 at one time, like over there trapped in the mud. And for those not familiar with the South, there are many different types of soil. In Georgia, they had this lovely red Georgia clay. It provides no traction. It will fill every tread in your tire, effectively making it a slick by the very definition of the word. And it weighs a ton. And when it dries, you need a chisel. So just stay out of all of it. And it will stain every item of clothing it ever touches.
Wow.
How do you really feel about this, Mental?
Yeah. This is really good.
This is in
good
my
description.
blood. So yeah. I've said this before, if you haven't heard. I grew up at this track. My father worked for Datsun at the time. Datsun owned the track, and Paul Newman was their driver. So we would go to the SCCA runoffs every year in October, where it would rain and cars would go off the track, and I would do this. So I have spent many years at this track. I went to race school at this track. I've taught at this track. I do love it, and we've talked about there are tracks in the U.S. that just have a feel to them. VIR, Mid Ohio, New Hampshire. This is absolutely one of those tracks. You can sense the heritage. It's a great place. You're gonna love it.
It's a track I could spend a whole lot more time learning all the nuances because there are a lot of nuances to this track.
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's a great one. So
just wish the Lemons race wasn't this weekend-ish every year where it always rains and it's terrible.
Nope. Or snows.
Or snows.
The year we had the ice line or the snow line, and we're like, and then of course the windows have to be open and you can wear all the clothes you want, but
it's pouring rain and 45 degrees. It's all of the terrible weathers.
I remember when the Fishers were still running the Ombre and it had sat out and the seat was just soaking wet, and whoever had to climb into it on Sunday morning in 30 something degrees and then sit there and let it soak into their driving suit and just shiver while they were waiting on the starting grid.
Nope.
Not cool,
nope,
man.
Nope.
Kind of weekend you're gonna wish you left the heater in your car. That's for sure.
Yeah. If you don't have a defroster, make sure you know the Barbasol trick. If you don't know the Barbasol trick, get a hold of us. But multiple people at Road Atlanta are going to know the Barbasol trick. So
They're going to need a rag on a stick too.
you are going to need a
Mhm.
rag on a stick. Yes, you
Yep.
are.
Yep.
Oh,
Change your wipers, boys and girls.
yeah.
Rain X now.
Yes, Rain X
And,
now, Rain X again, and then Rain X one more time before you get on
yep.
the race.
And anti-fog does nothing. Don't even bother.
No, it doesn't. It makes a glue on the inside of your windshield. You'll try scraping off with your fingernails during extended yellow flags, and all it does is get on there. So yeah, use the
Yeah.
barber saw trick. Man,
So
we
you guys
just
gonna have a good time? Everything
breezed right
good?
through this. Yeah.
We did. Is
It's
anyone
good.
going
It's
to
good.
the Claremont Lounge in Johann's honor? Isn't that the
Oof.
place?
I don't think without Phil coming, I don't think so. Normally that was a barber deal because yeah, you're just when you land at Hartsfield, you're as close to Barber as you are to Road Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well,
Tim, I asked you, but I don't remember the answer. Do you guys have a Sunday night hotel downtown? Or you going to stay in Brazelton?
Yes. Yes. I am staying I don't know. I gotta look and see where
Okay.
actually they got me set up. I'm not sure, but
All right.
you gave me the name of a spot. I'm gonna go check it out
Yes,
if it's close by for sure.
the
Um
Vortex. Highly
yeah,
recommend the Vortex. You'll get
I'll
a
have a rental
giant
car, so
yes. You'll have a
that'll be good.
giant burger served up by a tattooed
is
server
that where
with
we
an
went to?
attitude problem.
Sounds like
Yes.
where we went.
Yes.
Tim, any suggestions on bribes for the lovely folks out there that might be interested in
Flannel.
earning the favor
Yeah.
of the Supreme Court?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like hand warmers would be a great bribe.
poncho,
And yeah, a poncho and maybe a
galoshes.
packet of shop towels so I can dry off your soggy race car before I paint a bribe stencil on it.
Regular delivery of hot chocolate, things like that.
Ooh,
That would
that's a
be
good one.
amazing. Yeah. If somebody brought one of those Rubens that Mental was talking about, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I don't know if they have to go orders at Patty's, but yes, that the at the Irish pub that is a highly. And if you're out and about, your car's all tweaked, you're just tired of freezing Thursday or Friday night, yeah, go down to the Chateau Elan because it used to be owned by Dr. Panos, who owned Road Atlanta for a while. That Don Panos who designed the race cars and everything, and he had that Irish pub taken down, disassembled, brought over from Ireland, and reassembled on the grounds of the Chateau Elan. It's a nice place. It's a good place. And the Reubens are fantastic. Good slow cooked corned beef.
That's cool.
Selling it.
Well, there are 12 rookie teams, and I'm going to give you two highlights. Talking a little bit out of school here from judges' notes of what these teams said about what they're bringing. We talked a little bit about that 250, the F-250 that's coming. They said we're a burly quartet comprised of engineers, mechanics, machinists, nor do well, love scallywags, ready to jauntily blast our mid-90s apocalyptic work truck around the sweetest gentle curves of Road Atlanta.
Wow.
And
that's so
You should keep a
poetic.
poll when they come to penalty. How many of the machinist versus how many of the engineers? Because I feel like you're going to talk to a lot more engineers than you are machinist.
I think you might be right. Yep. Two-time national FN champion Neil Losi is going to be driving a very interesting car. It is a new build. And this guy says, a new car, new captain. Neil Losi signed up to drive with us. Holy Lord, I've got a 91 Chevy S10 with a 78 Trans Am front clip on it. I'm not going with a Smoking Bandit theme. Not even once. It's got a Ford 302 from a 1988 Lincoln Town Car with a vast amount of junkyard parts just to get the thing put together. You will understand all of this at BS. I've been building this car for 10 years now. Work, life, and bad luck have gotten in my way, and I wanted to get this dang thing on the track. So I can't wait
Wow.
to see that thing.
I mean, that just sounds like he just said, all right, I've got this frame. What else do I have around? Oh, there's some fenders from a Firebird. I'll put those on. All right, what engine
Totally
do I
put
have
that.
sitting here?
No
Well,
fail in this plan.
There's this
at all.
302 from this Lincoln sitting here. All right, sure, I'll put that in. Like, just
No
things that are
fail.
buried in the clay around where he's standing.
Uh-huh. Yep. I can't wait to see that. That's going to
Solid
be amazing.
rear axle. You are going to love turn 7.
In the wet.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
obviously
my.
he said never do a Smokey and the Bandit theme, and good on you because it has been overdone and then it has been done to perfection by like 3 teams really, really well, and it never needs to be done again.
Nope.
Because Eric appreciates old TV shows, and I may be the last human being that remembers this. There was a pilot that ended up being a Sunday movie for the week because the TV show did not get picked up, called Georgia Peaches. And it was very much a Dukes of Hazzard knockoff involving a family that ran moonshine and owned a junkyard, and he drove a redneck James Bond Trans Am with all kinds of little goofball gadgets that he used to get away from the revenuers. So if you can even find that, it's probably on YouTube someplace. That would be a obscure theme to throw out there that probably only Eric and Brian Trainer would appreciate.
And you would know.
And I would know. Yes,
Yeah, right.
exactly. Oh, so
Cool. Well, it
yes.
sounds like you guys are going to have a good time.
Oh.
Good times had by some, because definitely not all this weekend. There's no way everyone's going to have a good time when it's this rainy and cold. No thanks.
Yes.
Keep your spirit
but-
up and your feet dry.
Hey, we're going to enjoy watching the wrap-up video. It's like, oh, look at these poor fools.
I'm gonna watch it in my pool.
Yeah.
Oh, and we've been there when we tried to line up all of our shoes in front of Mental's. I guess it was a heater, but it might have even been exhaust. Like we were trying to just to keep things dry, because once you get it
It was a
wet,
losing battle.
we don't really want to be that wet again.
No,
And
I
then
just
when
wore
you put
wellies
on
all weekend.
cold
That was it.
and wet suit parts. Ooh, it's not.
Yeah,
great.
I actually do remember that. Like I had like every little space heater, hair dryer thing out there.
Yep.
We were all trying to do that.
Line them all up.
Oof.
And they were just kind of warm and wet.
So, I do have an odd on the spot,
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
or I think technically this is around the horn or whatever we want to do with it. So, just down the road at Barber, among those list of the good folks running Lucky Dog, is the infamous Flying Moose Volvo, piloted by our friend, the seat stealer himself. It's his car. I don't think that car has finished a race. So what is you going to take, the over or under? So will he or won't he, when that Volvo breaks, will he show up at Road Atlanta trying to bum a ride?
Mm.
And for those who don't know, we're talking about Randy Popes. Randy's a great guy. He's had this Volvo forever. He lives in Atlanta. He is friends with Kim.
He's already
And-
going to be at Barber, though. I think he'll just stay at
Yeah.
Barber.
That's
and
what
once
I'm
it breaks
thinking.
really early Saturday,
That's
Because
what I'm
he's done that.
Yeah,
He's-
he'll
he's-
seat steal on Saturday there if it breaks really early. Then he'll seat steal on Sunday at the Lemons race.
So
Yeah.
will we see him at Road Atlanta?
I give it
Over-
a 20% chance.
I'm gonna say yes on Sunday. I'm assuming the car is gonna break on Saturday. Kim's brother Craig is debuting his car this weekend at Road Atlanta. So I think there's a little extra motivation for Randy to show up. So I think we'll see Randy on Sunday.
Chrissy?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was thinking that he was gonna stay there the whole time, but he's got motivation to come over. So yeah, probably.
Okay. I also think he'll be there on Sunday because he does that at Barber when Champ Car is usually running Road Atlanta at the start of the year. And when his car doesn't finish or whatever he did, we see him Sunday trolling around the paddock at Barber stealing seats.
Trying to crash into something.
He just can't resist.
He can't. He's got to feed the habit, man. All right. Okay.
Anything else this week? Or that's it, I think.
That's it.
What are we talking about next week?
Tag us on your photos. Tag at Everyone Racers on all your dreary, wet, or gorgeous photos. If the weather turns out pretty, tag us and mock us on all of your social medias.
We did have that happen at Sonoma.
Ah, right. You thought it was great the whole time, and you ended up having a little of sun.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, I think it's going to be a very Tim-centric episode next week. How did you tell us all about what it was like there at Road
I,
Atlanta?
I will take copious notes and videos and photos of all of the sad creatures.
So
Do.
there you have it, folks. Watch our socials because you're going to see Burvan images all over it. It's going to be awesome.
Can't wait to hear how it goes.
All
Yep,
right.
should be fun.
Cool. Well, have a great week, everybody.
You too.
We will.
Same.
Bye.
Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you will join us in the world of driving, racing, and building because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hated us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop us a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. You can still text us at 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook under Everyone Racers, or even Reddit at /E1R. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless there is no shiny side, then just keep those wheels down.